Welcome to Arjun Bhagat Decodes, and today we are talking about Kamala Harris, or Kamala Harris as we pronounce it in India.
Kamala?
Yes, please.
Okay, because the Indian in me, I feel like my parents, my dad will watch this.
Just don't call me auntie.
Okay, I won't call you auntie. They'll be like, how could you call her by her first name? She's worked so hard.
Vice President Kamala Harris's candidacy as the Democratic Party's nominee for the upcoming presidential election of the United States in November 2024 against former President Donald Trump is nothing short of historic. Kamala Harris embodies a rich cultural identity that mirrors the evolving face of America and, in fact, globalization. Now, as the daughter of a Jamaican father and an Indian mother, Kamala's heritage is a powerful symbol of the diverse, interconnected world we live in. Born in California, USA, to Donald J. Harris and Shamala Gopalan, Kamala's multicultural heritage is a cornerstone of her identity. Her parents, both immigrants, were intellectual powerhouses who met at UC Berkeley while pursuing their studies. Donald in economics and Shamala in cancer research. Together, they were active in the civil rights movement, advocating for the rights of both Black as well as the Indian communities.
So my mother was 19 when she crossed the world alone, traveling from India to California with an unshakable dream to be the scientist who would cure breast cancer. When she finished school, she was supposed to return home to a traditional arranged marriage. But as fate would have it, she met my father, Donald Harris, a student from Jamaica. They fell in love and got married, and that act of self-determination made my sister Maya and me.
Kamala's Indian heritage has played a crucial role in shaping her worldview. Her mother Shamala ensured that Kamala and her sister Maya were deeply connected to their Indian roots. Summers were spent in India with their grandparents in Chennai were more than just vacations. They were lessons in culture, values, and public service.
My grandparents were phenomenal. We would go back to India like every other year. My grandfather fought for and was a defender of the freedom of India.
Kamala's grandfather, P.V. Gopalan, a high-ranking government official, left a lasting impression on her with his commitment to serving the people. These experiences laid the foundation for Kamala's own path in public service.
When I was a young girl, being the eldest grandchild, my grandfather would take me on his morning walk. All of his buddies who also were great leaders, and they would talk about the importance of fighting for democracy and the importance of fighting for civil rights and that people would be treated equally regardless of where they were born or the circumstances of their birth. Those walks along the beach in India really planted something in my mind and created a commitment in me. Before I even realized it, it has led me to where I am today.
At the same time, growing up in Oakland, California, a hotbed of social activism meant that Kamala was also deeply influenced by African American culture and the civil rights movement. This duality in her upbringing, where she attended both Black Baptist churches and Hindu temples, enriched her understanding of identity and justice.
You see a lot when you're the firstborn. I saw my mother and how she worked hard, and she was full of pride and would never want anyone to ever pity her. She never complained about anything. But I also knew how she suffered. I knew how she stayed up late at night trying to figure things out. She was a brown woman with an accent. I remember going into, a store and us being followed. I remember how people would look at my mother and make certain assumptions about her intelligence or her capacity or her right to belong. As the eldest child, you see this. My mother was very well aware that she was raising two Black girls to be two Black women. And she did that instilling in us pride in our culture and cultures, always knowing that we would face all kinds of obstacles, but she never let us believe that anything could get in the way of our dreams or pursuits. My sister Maya is 2.5 years younger than me. So at the age of 2.5, I was told, look after your sister. And it is something that is very much a part of just who I am, which is that look after those who need your support or need your help. And that has been what has motivated me to do the work I've done, to look after and protect people.
Kamala Harris stands at a unique crossroads where a personal narrative of multiculturalism intersects with the broader story of America's ongoing journey towards equality and inclusivity. Her significance goes beyond her political achievements. She represents the blending of cultures, values, and histories, an embodiment of what it means to be an American in the 21st century. Her name itself, Kamala, which means lotus in Sanskrit, is associated with the goddess Lakshmi, which symbolizes prosperity and grace. This name, rich in tradition, reflects the resilience and the growth that Kamala Harris embodies. Her candidacy is not just about breaking the glass ceiling, it's about redefining what leadership in America looks like. If she wins the presidency, Kamala will become the first woman to hold the office and the second non-white person to do so since the country's independence. The first, of course, was Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States. Now, out of 46 presidents in American history, only Obama has broken the racial barrier. Kamala would not only follow in his footsteps but also make history as the first non-white woman with a rich ethnic background rooted in both India and the West Indies to lead the nation. Kamala's story resonates globally, particularly here in India, where her mother's family originates from. Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India recognized her in his address to the US Congress, underscoring the pride felt by millions of Indians for Kamala's achievements.
There are millions here who have roots in India. Some of them sit proudly in this chamber. And there is one behind me who has made history.
In an ancestral village of Tulasendrapuram in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu, her rise to power has been celebrated with rituals, sweets, and joyous gatherings, a testament to the deep ties she maintains with her heritage.
This is the hometown of Vice President Kamala Harris's grandfather. He was born there more than a century ago, and today they celebrated one of his descendants going all the way to the White House. You can see her there on the screen. It was 11 o'clock at night there as Vice President Harris took her oath of office. They chanted, "Long live Kamala Harris," as they watched from the other side of the world.
As Kamala moves forward in her campaign, her journey from being a daughter of immigrants to potentially the first female president of the United States of America is not just a personal achievement. It's a beacon of hope for a more inclusive America and a momentous step forward for a world that is increasingly interconnected and diverse.
ये जीत गई तो दिल में खुशियां ही खुशियां नाचो हमारी हैरिस ये कमला हैरिस जीतेगी तो नाचो 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 नाचो